What's up, everybody? It's Goomer22. This is take number 2 on our Scuffed playoff scenario video. The audio didn't get captured the first time. Fun. But that's okay. We will just go through all of these playoff scenarios again. I know I usually make slides, but I didn't have a lot of time. Work's been busy. Trying to figure out how to get 2-0'd by Theo. And so, yeah. I saw some of the matches were coming out too, so I didn't want to put this out like super late. So I'm trying to get this out before some of the final matches get played, especially some of these pivotal matches. So yeah, let's just jump into each division and then we'll talk about wildcard stuff at the end. So each division, the first two divisions are a little bit straightforward. So the Pretzels won, giving them 7 wins. No one else can get 7 wins. They beat the Luxury Uxies. So Pretzels are locked in first seed and potentially regular season champ. Tricos are 5-2. They already played their match and they won, so they're actually 6-2. Plus 8. They beat the Los Angeles Infernapes, so they are locked in at second seed. The other thing about this season, which is kind of interesting, is second seed and wildcard are like a little bit the same in this league, because the second seeds play the wildcards in the first round of playoffs, whereas the first seeds all get a bye. So first seed is really important, but second seed is effectively the same as a wildcard, depending on if you think like it's not in the sense if you think that wildcard teams are easier than second seeds, but I feel like generally most of the players are just pretty good, and so it's really just sort of matchup dependent. So I don't really think you actually get that big of an advantage in second seed, except for the fact that you don't have to fight for wild card tiebreaker stuff. So I guess that's kind of nice. But yeah, in terms of the actual placement, if you get in playoffs at wild card or second seed, it's pretty much the same. So yeah, so Binacles and Scraggies can't take second seed from Tricos, so they're locked. Sapphire division, it's kind of interesting. Before this week, the Ice Cues were 5-2 plus 5, so they needed a specific scenario to take first. They needed to 2-0 the Blazekins, and Sauces needed to lose 0-2 to the Sun Warriors. Now, the Ice Cues have already played their game for week 8, and they, spoilers, they did get a 2-0 win. And it's been submitted here. So they're 6-2 plus 7. So since the Sauces beat the Ice Cues and have the head-to-head, they specifically need the Sauces to lose 0-2 to the Sun Warriors. So as long as Sauces take a game, doesn't matter if they win, they take a game, they lock first seed, they lock in that first round bye, which is really important. So the Ice Cues are going to be rooting for the Sun Warriors here in week 8. And that is a premier match on Friday, I believe. So that's pretty straightforward in Sapphire. Diamond, it gets a little bit trickier. So the Blazekins have already played against the Ice Cues, and they did lose 0-2. But that doesn't mean they can't get first. They can still get first in their division. They just need the Sun Warriors and the Kingdras to both lose. If either of these teams if either of these teams win, they'll beat the Blazekins, because Sun Warriors will be have 6 wins, and they'll be first. Kingdras will be 5-3 with a better differential, so they'll take first. So either of these teams winning can take first. If they both lose, Blazekins keep first. If the Sun Warriors lose, but the Kingdras win, Kingdras actually take first, which is kind of interesting. So Kingdras can still get first. And so it all just kind of depends on who on what happens with these teams, because if say Kingdras win, then Sun Warriors could take second, but like I said, it doesn't really matter. If Sun Warriors lose, then they'll get second and Blazekins will get wild card. But like I said, wild card and second is pretty effectively the same. It could just change up who the matchups are against. So all of these teams could get first, second, or wild card, but they all are guaranteed playoffs. So all these teams in Diamond right here, these top 3 are guaranteed playoffs. Pearl, similar scenario, except for we're not all guaranteed playoffs. Mimikyu's and 5 wins is guaranteed playoffs here. So 5 wins is guaranteed playoffs. The Gurchins, if they just win 2-0 or 2-1, as long as they win, because they have head-to-head over Mimikyu's, they keep first. So Gurchins just need to win to keep first. Mimikyu's want them to lose. I want them to lose because the thing is, if Mimikyu's and Gurchins lose, I can take first. But either the Gurchins or the Mimikyu's are getting second is the thing, and then somebody's getting wild card. I don't think. Actually, no, I could get second if I win, Gurchins win, and Mimikyu's lose. So any of us could get first, second, or wild card. But the thing is, the difference is in Diamond, they're all guaranteed playoffs. In Pearl, we're not all guaranteed playoffs. Although we could all get first, second, or wild card. I just need to win for that to happen. Although I could lose and still make playoffs as well. But it's just not guaranteed. So the other thing is, so let's talk about wild cards. So right now, as it stands, we have 4 teams. Well, as it stands now, the Scraggies would get the wild card because they have a better differential over Wailords. But the thing is, in this last week, Binacles and Bashers play each other. So since I play the Binacles, one of us has to lose. And that opens up the door for some other people, like Wailords, Dragazolts, and the Soars. And that's pretty interesting. So as it stands, yes, the Binacles, because I play the Binacles, one of us has to lose, but also that means one of us has to win. So one of us is going to get 5 wins. So one of us takes one of those wildcard spots at least. Or if we're not technically wildcard, like if I win and the Mimikyu's lose, okay, the Mimikyu's get the wildcard. But somebody from our division will get the wildcard is the thing. So the winner of Bashers and Binacles are taking a playoff spot. Taking a wildcard spot. Winner of Bashers and Binacles. Kingdras are automatically taking a wildcard spot because even if, because one of these 4 and 3 teams has to lose, me and Binacles, that means max there can only be if Scraggies, Wailords, and then the winner of us, that means there's 3 teams with 5 wins, and then even if the Kingdras lose, they'll still take a wild card spot because they have the best 4 and 4 differential, and that means you'd have loser of Binacles and Bashers at 4 and 4. You have potentially, Dragazolts and Soars at 4 and 4, but none of the differentials are going to reach the Kingdras worst case scenario, which is 4 and 4 plus 3. So Kingdras are guaranteed a wild card spot. Winner of Bashers and Binacles are guaranteed a wild card spot. And that leaves 2 spots up for grabs for 5 potential players, which is the Wailords, the Scraggies, loser of Binacles and Bashers, Dragazolts, and Soars. And the thing about this is differential is going to come into play here, big time. So for the Wailords and the Scraggies, theirs is a little bit easier because they just need to win. Because they have 4 wins, if they win, they get that 5 wins, they're in. But if they lose, it opens up the door a little bit more. Because as it stands, because the Scraggies have +2 differential and the Wailords have +1, 2 of these 3 and 4 teams, the Soars and the Dragazolts, who are fighting for a wildcard spot, if they win, they're going to be at least +1 or +2. So they're going to be +1 or +2 if they win, whether they win 2-1 or 2-0. So because the Dragazolts and the Soars are going to be positive in their differential, that gets really tricky since a lot of these 4 and 4 teams that could lose might be at +0 if they lose. So like if Wailords lose, they're going to be at +0 or -1. If Scraggies lose, they could be at +1 and then have a tiebreaker scenario against the Dragazolts or the Soars. But the interesting thing is the only way for some of these crazy tiebreaker scenarios to occur is if the Dracozolt and the Soars win 2-1. Because if they win 2-0, there's not going to be any tiebreakers going on. They just need to hope that people lose. So if the Dracozolts and the Soars win 2-0, they'll be 4-4 plus 2. Well, a lot of these teams that are fighting for wildcard right now are already at plus 2. So if any of us lose, we're going to be 4-4 plus 1 or plus 0. So we're going to be below plus 2. So Dracozolts or Soars winning 2-0 really puts on the pressure for these 4-3 teams. Now, with these 4-3 teams, winning, losing 1-2 is kind of big because it allows you to have some tiebreaker scenarios. So, loser of Binacles Bashers and then Scraggies, losing 1-2 would put them at plus 1. And then if Dracozolts and Soars win 2-1, that puts them at plus 1. You could have some crazy tiebreaker scenarios. Like theoretically, you could have loser of Binacles Bashers at plus 1, 4-4 plus 1. Scraggies at 4-4 plus 1. And then you could have Dracozolts and Soars at 4-4 plus 1. And so then you have 4 teams, and let's say the Whale-Lords win. Well, then you have 4 teams competing for that last wildcard spot because you have Kingdra's in, winner of Basher's Binacles in, you have potentially Whale-Lords in if let's say they win, and then like I said, you have the Binacles Basher loser, Scraggies, Dracozolts, and Soars all at 4-4 plus 1. 4 teams competing for that last spot. I think it goes to KD after that. I'm not really sure. I don't think head-to-head really plays into a factor there, but that is a crazy scenario. But none of the other teams I've mentioned have a chance here. Because even though the Porygons and the Rabombis are at 3-4, their 4-4 differential doesn't get high enough to have a chance. Because at a baseline, you have Kingdra's and then winner of Basher's Binacles. And then let's say the loser of let's say the Binacles or the Bashers win 2-0. That means the other person loses 0-2 and goes to 4-4 plus 0. And then let's say Scraggies lose 2-0. They're 4-4 plus 0. So 4-4 plus 0 is the benchmark that you'd have to hit to have a shot at wildcard. So like if Whale-Lords lose 0-2, they're out because they're not 4-4 plus 0. Now if they lose 1-2, they still have a chance because 4-4 plus 0 is that benchmark that people have to hit. So it gets really, really tricky. Like I said, Dracozolts and Soars winning 2-0 really puts the pressure on. Winning 2-1 has some tiebreaker scenarios. Scraggies, Whale-Lords just need to win. And then, Binacles and Basher game, a 2-1 loss, or like a 1-2 loss, I should say, is a lot more beneficial. But it's more than likely winning in, losing out, I would guess. Yeah. Good luck to anyone in the playoff race here. It's going to be a crazy, crazy final week. I'm sure of it. So, we will see you all later. That's going to be it.